Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. And sorry if you heard a little sort of ping there. It's my water bottle so that my throat doesn't get dry during the recording and I basically can't speak, but I can't control what the water bottle does. So let's get on with it. Oh my god, that's perfect timing. So what we're going to be talking about today is one of the Covenant Sanctum upgrades for Ardenweald, and this Covenant Sanctum upgrade is called the Queens Conservatory, and it basically acts as your very own grove within Ardenweald. So the Queens Conservatory, it's a unique Covenant upgrade for people of the Night Fae Covenant, obviously, in which you find spirits and bring them to the conservatory to tend them back to life and to nurture them and get them back into the cycle. So the process of tending the spirits is similar to that of the Tiller's Farm back in Mists of Pandaria, and but it works a bit differently in some aspects. So you use wild seeds and catalysts to tend the spirits you find within the Shadowlands, and these spirits can be used to receive various profession crafting reagents, unique armor stuff, and other special rewards. Some of the Covenant rewards that you get with the Conservatory, these are Night Fae specific. You get a couple mounts. You get Wanderer's Runestag and Enchanted Wanderer's Runestag. Both very nice mounts, both very elegant, as you would imagine with the Ardenweald Covenant. You get a couple of soul shapes that you can loot from the spirits that you nurture back to life. That is the Snapper soul shape and the Gulper soul shape. So you've got a little turtle and a frog soul shape to play about with. And like I said, the spirits that you assist in the conservatory will give you satchels that are filled with crafting materials. And the conservatory is where you get the armor set for the sort of brown-green tint on your gear, your transmog gear for the conservatory. So unlocking and restoring the Queen's Conservatory. It's like every other Covenant-specific upgrade. You have to go through the certain tier lists which you need anima and redeemed souls for. So first one is called First Planting, and this is tier 1. It costs 1,500 anima, 6 souls, and is 1 hour until you unlock it. And you gain access to the Queen's Conservatory, and you start off with 2 wild seeds, and you speak to Conservator Starry Night for a quest that can lead you to the conservatory and give you the sort of rundown of how it all works. The second tier is called Initial Growth. It is 5,000 anima and it is 12 souls and 12 hours to unlock. And what this does, it unlocks anima catalyst plots and a 3rd wild seed, and new daily quests are available that reward catalysts. And it also unlocks a special quest line, which we'll come back to in the future. Tier 3 is called Nurtured Souls. This is 10,000 anima, 22 souls, and it is a 1-day process until you unlock it. This one's simple. A 4th wild seed is available, along with more catalyst plots, and unlocks another special quest line. Tier 4, again, we'll be going back to the special quest line in a bit. Tier 4 is called Flourishing Beds, 12,500 anima, 40 souls, and 1 day to unlock. This is a 5th wild seed that can have 3 connecting catalyst plots, and it unlocks another special quest line. Again, we'll come back to that. And the tier 5, the final upgrade, is called Final Forms, 15,000 anima, 70 souls, and 1 day to unlock. And what this does, it unlocks the final wild seed where you can plant, and that one wild seed has 4 catalyst plots connected to it. Enables you to get some very good rewards from the seed that you bring back and nurture to life from that wild seed. So once you've unlocked it, you just basically go to the Conservatory Starry Night dude, and you just get a little extra action button to take you to the conservatory. It's nice and simple. So the Queens Conservatory items and sort of objects that are in there we'll be going over. So you've got the first items, which are spirits. Now, spirits can be obtained from various activities across the Shadowlands. You often obtain them from completing Covenant Calling quests, weekly quests at the sort of conservatory, quests in the moor, and a few other sort of things around the Shadowlands. There are different types of spirits with varying quality. The type of spirit has an impact on your reward. So you have Kyrian, Maldraxxus, Nightfey, and Venthyr spirits, and you have 3 different ranks within these spirits. So you have the uncommon, you have the rare, and you have the epic quality. And for the Kyrian, they're called dutiful spirits. For the Maldraxxi, they're called material spirits. For Nightfey, untamed spirits. And for Venthyr, they are prideful spirits. And these are all just like their spirit, but either greater material spirit, or divine, which is the epic quality material spirit, and that's just the same for all of them. So we don't necessarily know what the difference is between the uncommon, the rare, and the epic quality, but we have a feeling that it's sort of the higher quality spirits will give you a better chance at their unique rewards. So whether it be like a mount that you're trying to farm, stuff like that. So we'll be going over the wild seeds and what their purpose is. They're one of the key elements of the Queen's Conservatory, and are what you use to nurture the spirits that you've collected. So you target a wild seed, nice and easy. You click the spirit in your bags to infuse the wild seed with the spirit. When you first unlock the conservatory, you'll start with the 2 wild spirits available to yourself. And you'll get an additional wild seed after every upgrade, like I said. So wild seeds can be empowered by anima catalysts. By using a nearby anima catalyst plot, some wild seeds can be affected by multiple of these plots. So what are the anima catalyst plots? They are optional plots located at the Queen's Conservatory that you can basically plant catalysts to boost your nearby wild seeds. So there are mostly there are 2 catalyst plots going into every wild seed, and as you get to the 4th tier and the 5th tier, you get a seed that has 3 catalyst plots, and in the 5th tier you get the 1 seed that has 4 catalyst plots to get the best sort of reward from what you want. Now, anima catalysts can be obtained out in the world, again from Covenant Callings and anything like that, and they're planted in the catalyst plots. Basically, they have different uses. There are 3 different types of catalysts, and they all have their own unique use. So you can also plant catalyst like seeds to put into the wild seed, so that you can harvest the catalyst after that timer is done as well. So this is a nice way to actively grow your own catalyst to use at a later date with your spirit. So you've got 3 different types of catalysts. You've got temporal leaves, you've got wild night bloom, and you've got wild seed root grain. And what the temporal leaves does is it reduces the time it takes of nearby wild seeds to be ready for them to collect rewards from. And I believe that it reduces the time taken by 1 day, which is actually quite a big difference. 24 hours, The wild night bloom increases the quality of the rewards from the nearby wild seeds. Or no, not quality, sorry, quantity. I got these 2 mixed up. So you increase the quantity of the rewards. So it might double the rewards if you've got, say, 2 wild night bloom catalysts connected to this 1 wild seed. Nice and simple. The wild seed root grain increases the quality. That's the one that increases your quality. And it increases the quality of the rewards from all the nearby wild seeds. It's the important one if you want some of the rarest items from the Queen's Conservatory, such as mounts and stuff. But you have to note that these catalysts have to be planted before the wild seed is put in, before you put the spirit into the wild seed. Otherwise, it will not take effect. You will waste a catalyst, pretty much. So the sort of mechanics, the main mechanics of the conservatory, in its fully upgraded sort of form, there are 6 wild seeds total and 8 catalyst plots. And the position of these are fixed, so you won't be able to like move them about or whatever. So you've got to plan what you do pretty much. And you can obviously affect one wild seed with multiple catalysts like at a time. So among the 6 wild seeds, you'll have 1 wild seed with 1 catalyst plot. You'll have 3 wild seeds with 2 catalyst plots. You'll have 1 wild seed with 3 catalyst plots. And you'll have 1 wild seed with 4 catalyst plots. Makes a total of 6, if my maths isn't that bad. Basically, the spirit, or the process of it to be rebirth, from spirit to rebirth. And it's kind of it's very simple, but some people might just want to know. So basically, at minimum, you need to obtain a spirit, obviously, whether it's a divine material, untamed, or prideful spirit. I remember them off by heart. That's actually quite impressive. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't look at my sheet of paper for that. I'm quite happy. It shows how much I've been in the conservatory. And you can consider looking at the possible rewards that you can get from each spirit. Now, you can obviously save your spirits, which I am myself doing now until I've unlocked my final tier, where I get that final catalyst plot, or that final wild seed plot where I have 4 catalysts around it to get the best sort of results. So if you have a reward in mind, you find a wild seed suitable to reach the reward, but you don't use the spirit yet. That is an important thing. So you find your wild seed that you might need 3 catalyst plots to get this reward. So you find that wild seed that has 3 catalyst plots, and you basically infuse your catalysts that you need to support getting this reward from the wild seed. So whether it's just quantity of like profession reagents that you want, you'd infuse it with a wild bloom catalyst, like 2 of them. Whether it's something rarer, you would go with the wild root grain catalyst. I'm pretty sure I said that off by heart. Kind of right, but kind of not. So you plant them ones, and then you plant your wild seed. So basically, you plant your catalysts like to your chosen wild seed, and the catalysts obviously are obtained throughout the world. Once you've activated your catalyst, you use the spirit in your inventory on the wild seed that you choose. And then it's as simple as wait. Once your spirit is infused in the wild seed, the only thing you can do is wait for the incubation to finish. And the time it takes depends on the spirit you used, obviously. This can range from a massive time scale. So this can range from 1 hour to 7 days. An entire week you might have to wait for this one spirit. And that's quite nuts, isn't it? So it's less obviously if you use the temporal leaves, but that's just if you're being greedy and it's like, yeah, I want as much stuff as possible. It might not be good, but I want it now. That kind of thing. So you can obviously see how much time is left by checking the incubation buff on the wild seed, or by viewing it on your Covenant Sanctum summary. So if you click on your little Sanctum upgrade, in the bottom left there's a little Queens Conservatory like circle. You just hover over that and it will say like how many wild seeds you've got, when's your next wild seed hatching. I want to say hatching, but like blossoming, that kind of thing. And it's a nice sort of easy way to keep an eye on it. Once the incubation is complete, you interact with the wild seed and the spirit inside will appear. It will be sort of a star alignment, a constellation almost. It will have a name, and you talk to your spirit. It will thank you and then spawn one of the caches to reward you for giving it like a new life, a rebirth almost. And that's as simple as it gets, really. You just talk to it, it gives you the cache, and it moves on. It goes into the sort of recycling process of what the Shadowlands is all about. and you just repeat it from there. Once you've talked to the spirit, the wild seed can be used right away. There's no sort of downtime on the wild seeds. It is just the annoying part is kind of waiting for that seed to blossom and to be nurtured back to its full strength. So there's many different things that you can get from the Queens Conservatory reward-wise, and it's basically, if you use one of these like catalysts, it's really tough to explain this. I've got a massive sort of graph here that I know of and that I'm actually looking at right now. But if you got just an uncommon spirit, your untamed spirit, your material spirit, and you use one of the root grains on it, which is the purple, the like epic quality catalyst, you have a chance of getting some nice transmog, you know, maybe a pet or two, that kind of thing. Whereas if you use two of them, you have the potential to get a mount if you use a untamed spirit. This is the Night Fae only mount, and you get sort of blue quality transmog gear, that sort of thing, and you get more a better satchel and a better sort of cash from the spirit that comes out of it, so more profession, reagent, stuff like that. There's no rewards for actually the 3 wild seed root grains. It's just the same as the 2, but if you go up to the 4th, 4 catalysts, so you put 4 wild seed root grains in this catalyst, you get many different things. You get purple or epic quality transmogs. You get multiple mounts from every covenant, so you can get 1 mount from the Maldraxxus spirit, 1 mount from the Prideful spirit, 1 mount from the Kyrian one, and 1 mount from the Ardenweald. And these are all very unique, and you can get them, I believe, from every covenant specific, Sanctum upgrade. But if you go on to, say, the rare catalyst, which is the Wild Night Bloom, if you plant 1 catalyst, it will upgrade the satchel that you get to a large satchel. 2 catalysts, 2 Wild Night Bloom catalysts, you get a satchel which is called a stuffed satchel. 3 Wild Night Bloom catalysts, that gives you an overflowing satchel. And if you go to 4, it's the same as the 3. It will just be an overflowing satchel. This is if you want a load of profession, reagents, if you want to focus on professions and just rush all of that for a bit, you're more than welcome to do so. And that is probably the best way to do them. So you obviously have a few special rewards. This is from the 4 catalyst seed, and these are the mounts mainly that people want. So you got the Silver Tip Dreadwing from the Prideful Spirit, which is a bat, which is a nice Revendreth bat. Enchanted Wanderer's Rune Stag from the Untamed Spirit. Very nice looking stag, very sort of, it's beautiful stag pretty much. It very much fits with the aesthetics of Ardenweald. If you look at the Kyrian one, you have a Larian, I'm pretty sure. It is, it's actually a Dauntless Dusk Runner, which I'm pretty impressed about. So the Dusk Runner is sort of a unicorn type mount. Oh my god, I couldn't find the word there. It's a unicorn type mount. There's multiple in Shadowlands, but this one is dark in its nature, very dark sort of colour palette that it has been given. Unlike the ones in Bastion where they're a very light colour palette, very sort of yellow, bright golden, that kind of thing. And for the Maldraxxus, you get a gruesome Flayedwing, which is a chimera, I'm pretty sure. Is that the word for it? Yeah, it is a chimera. You get multiple head chimera, that sort of bone structure, just stripped down to the bone chimera, that kind of thing, which is something that I really desperately want, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, with the Covenant Armor transmogs, you also can spend, once you're at tier 5 of the Queen's Conservatory, you can spend 12,500 anima to get the different sets. Now you've got obviously the cloth, leather, mail and plate set. Pretty much it's just a recolor of the Covenant campaign set that you get just going throughout it. Some of them are really nice, like the plate set is absolutely beautiful, looks amazing. I would definitely buy it. The leather is just a rework, sort of a browny, earthy type colour, that kind of thing. Now, there are multiple achievements that you can get throughout the Queens Conservatory, and they simply ask for you to use all the different types of spirits, and basically you've got all 4 of the spirits and 3 qualities of them. So you want to use all of them, which is like it's divine pretty much, you want its greater, and you want its regular sort of uncommon status as a spirit. Now, going back to the quest lines that it can unlock, you basically get these rare and unusual spirits. So as you upgrade the Queen's Conservatory, you'll discover some of these very legendary spirits, and you'll be given a quest to go out and basically do the quest to get these legendary spirits. And these usually have you going through a dungeon, and it can be basically mist dungeons, it can be any type of dungeon pretty much. But when these spirits are reborn through the Queen's Conservatory, they'll hang out in the Queen's Conservatory. They'll sit around and they'll give you some quests, weekly quests. And they are very special because they do other things pretty much. And some of them allow you to add more to the Queen's Conservatory. So there's one that I've just unlocked, which is in the tier 4 Queen's Conservatory, where it's a very a very natural spirit. Now, it might sound silly considering Ardenweald is basically nature incarnate, but this spirit in particular gives you quests to go and find other animals that are indigenous to their lands that have been either killed or unjustly sort of left behind in that land and haven't made it to Ardenweald yet. And you bring back their spirit, and they reside within the Queen's Conservatory, like forever pretty much. They reside in there, helping you tend to the conservatory and just have a more uplifting presence within the conservatory itself. There's some where there's a spirit who wants you to go and meditate throughout the entire world of Kalimdor. He'll send you out weekly to a place to just go and meditate. Literally just go and meditate, that's it. That's the quest. Just to visit these lands that you haven't been to in a while. This week I've got to go to Winterspring that I don't even remember going to, on retail in the past couple years. The last time I went to do it was when I went to go and get a Winterspring Frost Saber and farm that mount for 20 days. That was about a few years ago I did that. So it just brings you back to all of these old places within Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, and just shows you what they have done in the past and what kind of world that they've built. Everything like that pretty much. So there are obviously different types of rewards that are shared within the Ember Court, the Path of Ascension, and the Abomination Factory that the Necrolord have, which we're going to be going over next week. But these are the Dusk Runner, you've got the Gruesome Flayedwing, you've got the Dreadwing, which is the bat, and you've got a Pale Acidmaw, which is a big sort of bug-like mount from the Ardenweald. But you also have all of the weapons that are kind of shared that you can get throughout the Ember Court. You can get stuff from the Path of Ascension as well. All of these transmogs are shared between the specific Covenant Sanctum unlock. So even if you're you are a Kyrian, you can get some of these transmogs still. You don't have to be Night Fae to get some of these, but there are specific ones that related to the Queen's Conservatory that you might miss out on But again, loads of it is shared, so don't be too disheartened by that. But that is kind of all for the Queens Conservatory. I thought this would be a lot shorter, mainly because there's not a lot to the Queens Conservatory. Like, from seeing it from far away, it's just sort of you plant a spirit, you wait for the spirit, and then you release the spirit. That's kind of it. That's the sort of bare bones of it. But once you get into it, you've got the catalysts, you've got the legendary spirits to bring more, like, diversity and sort of more uplifting presence within your conservatory, within your grove itself. But again, these are something that I learn every week still, with Shadowlands being relatively new. You learn stuff about the covenants and how it grows, like how the Queen's Conservatory grows, the rewards that you can get throughout each wild seed that you plant. So many things left to discover within Shadowlands, definitely. I mean, there's still some soul shapes that people have not found. There's loads of different unexplored areas that some people will find eventually. But that is all for this week. Again, I really appreciate the fact that you have loads of different options for podcasts, but you keep coming back for some more Pig and Whistle tales. It would really help the podcast out if you would be kind enough to rate and comment on whatever platform you're listening to this on, as it helps spread the word and finds new listeners to enjoy the free shows. It would be great if you also hopped over to the Facebook and Twitter page, which is Pig and Whistle Tales, and there you can follow loads of posts covering all sorts of WoW sort of things, whether it be from dungeons to raids to covenants again. And I do post regularly on them social media, so do hop over and check it out. All of these links can be found at www.pigandwhistletales.com. As always, thank you all very much for listening, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.